Welcome to another Pearl Talks. We're here in Fiji with Justin and Leanne Hunter. So what's it like being the new kids on the block?
Definitely wish we had all the knowledge, accumulated knowledge of some of the established people like Juan or Brenelek or Pez Paley. You know, we come at it from a fresh perspective, a younger perspective. We've never gone through the incredible boom of the pearl industry. We come at it at a time when it's relatively tough. We're very optimistic and we're forward thinking, and we have a fresh approach and a positive approach to what we're doing.
How did you get out here? How did you decide to go into pearl farming? Tell us your story.
But my mother's family is from this town here called Savu Savu in Fiji. And I got a degree in marine biology in the US, went to high school there. And when I had the opportunity to come back here, and I was always looking for that opportunity as a young boy leaving Fiji, the first thing you do is look for how do you get back home. And pearl farming, I was able to come across people on the big island of Hawaii who were doing some research in hatcheries, and that got my interest going.
So has nature ever been a problem out here for you? Any challenges that have occurred?
I think all pearl farmers, because of where we're located, which is in the tropics, we always have issues with natural disasters, if you want to call it. Quite often, and most commonly, we do have hurricanes that come through, and they can be completely devastating. Well, what we got here is the result of Hurricane Thomas, which affected Fiji last March. That was about a year ago. And we were really unfortunate that we lost quite a few spout collector lines. We had over 220 in the water at the time of the hurricane, and we're only left with 50 of them. It was high category 4, slipping into a category 5, and it very slow moving, which left us exposed to huge sea swells, surges, and we lost a lot. And right now what we did is we basically found all these collectors out there, and this isn't all of them by any means, that are just, instead of being nicely spread out, we've got them in big balls like this, and we're trying to recover what we can off of them. It's not just specific to us. Everywhere that pearl farms are, weather and specifically cyclones are an issue. You have to be prepared for them. We rely on so many things, even La Nina, El Nino weather events have some pretty major effects on pearl quality. Also, the amount of oysters available. CO2 content in the ocean is creating problems with larval cycles and being able to build their calcium shells. So yeah, it's difficult, but it's part of the aspect of pearl farming. You are working in nature, with nature, and in nature, and some of these things are very hard to control.
We're here at the hatchery of Justin Hunter's Pearl Farms in Fiji, and they're about to feed the 14-day-old baby mollusk.
So what we have here are our larval tanks, and pearl oysters for the first 20 to 30 days of their life, they're actually free swimming. They are not attached as they're found on the reefs. They are put into algal tanks, again, very clean water, very controlled conditions, temperature controlled, food controlled, because when you are working with such young animals, bacteria is your number one issue. And so we've got covers on the tops of these tanks so that we don't introduce any bugs or lizard droppings or anything like that, which could bring in bacteria, which would contaminate and basically wipe out a whole tank. They're fed 4 times a day. We usually feed at every 6 hours. So it's a 24-hour deal when you've got oysters in these larval tanks. Well, this is our algal room. Pearl oysters, like any other oysters and bivalves in the sea, live on phytoplankton, and there's hundreds and thousands of different species. However, there's just a handful which is required and good for pearl oyster growth. Is we bring in stocks of algae from Cairo and other facilities like that that isolate different cultures of algae from around the world. And in here, we've got our selected algae that is going through what is known as a batch culture. And basically, you start out with a small volume. We introduce it to sterilized and nutrified water, get it some sunlight, and then it'll bloom up over the course of the next 4 to 7 days. And then once they get nice and dark, such as these, then they're ready to be transferred to a larger volume container, and then eventually fed as food to our pearl oysters.
Trying new things?
Yeah, we're always trying, and that is something that will never change. We won't rely on how things are done and be satisfied with what we produce. We always believe there's going to be a better way out there, and we give every hairball idea that I have or any of my staff have an idea that might work. We might as well give it a go.
That's awesome. So what's special about your pearls? What makes them different than from, say, Tahitian pearls? You know? How are you guys getting these colors out here?
You know, I would just have to say, without having a lot of knowledge, but knowing a little bit about some of the research that's been done in the past, specifically out of James Cook University in Townsville, which does quite a bit of research on pearl oysters, that this is a mixing area here of two different species of pearl oysters, or subspecies of the pink-dotted plethora. You've got the kumungi, which is prevalent and dominant in the atoll environments, and you've got the typica, which is more prevalent along the western side of the South Pacific. One aspect of this, which I think makes us very unique, is the color of our mantle shells. You know, this is the big reason why our Fiji pearls are quite different from other pearls found anywhere else is we've got some very special colored shells that we try to enhance those and get as many as we can to produce some very unique colored pearls. Fiji is far enough in the middle of both places where we actually get a hybrid of both these oysters crossing and breeding here, and we take advantages of the differences.
So it's kind of like a native species out here.
It is.
And are you guys the first to really farm them, or how many people are actually doing it?
There is an industry, a fledgling industry that's beginning in Fiji. I'm not the only person. I'm definitely not the first person to do it. The Japanese were down in Fiji in the 1960s, about the same time they were in Tahiti. Mm-hmm. However, because of the lack of oysters in Fiji, they gave up relatively quickly. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure if it's right yet. We still got a ways to go.
For sure, but from what I've seen, you got some amazing stuff in the waters out here.
We do.